Hello, everybody. How are you? Yeah, I'm once again in my Inter football jersey, which is quite new. I got it this summer. So, yeah, since this big fight is tomorrow, I wanted to say a few more things about it. Of course, you know which fight I'm talking about. Yeah. So, so you have seen the press conferences. Yeah, as usual, very, very dramatic. Well, anyway, Fury was doing his old stuff, usual stuff, standing there and shouting and stuff. While Wilder was trying to be like to come off as the more mature one. But you know, I don't really believe that he has changed. Guys like him. I mean, this fight shouldn't have. Let's be honest. This fight shouldn't have been made at all. I mean, there are no really real reasons for this fight to happen at all. The third fight, because the third fight is usually necessary when you have two fights and one guy wins each, and only then is the third fight really justified. So here we have the first fight ending as a draw, but even and I mean everybody, let's face it, everybody but the most diehard Wilder fans will say that Fury really won that fight also. And the other fight was a total, blowout, a destruction, very one-sided destruction of Wilder. And now you get, of course, there are of course excuses after excuses always, as usual. When somebody like Wilder gets defeated, he was before that he was really, regarded as the best by some anyway heavyweight in the world and the best American heavyweight, a great puncher and all that. So he got a lot of hype. Well, a lot of it was not really justified because he was mostly fighting guys that were, not his level really. He was fighting guys that were either too old or too small. You know, that kind of fighters. And of course, against Ortiz, he didn't really look so good. Even though he won by a knockout both times, but he didn't. In the first fight, he was in trouble, big trouble once, and was actually saved by the referee who called a timeout for no reason at all. In the eighth round, I believe that was. And in the second fight, he was outboxed the whole fight before he pulled off that big knockout punch. So such fighters, when once they taste defeat for the first time, and especially a knockout defeat like stoppage, like he did, they really lose a lot of their confidence because before that they think of themselves as nearly invincible. Like they got the power and so they think nobody can really harm them. Because they hit so hard. I mean, I think the same thing you might say happened with Felix Trinidad because he was, knocking pretty much everybody out before he lost to Bernard Hopkins. He was exposed there as a technically limited fighter, defensively also, you must say. And this same thing happened, of course, to Wilder with Fury. Even though he got exposed as technically limited before that, against Ortiz, but he didn't pay for it. So I really don't like all this stuff with them saying that he had his right hand was injured and all that bullshit. I think it's just made up bullshit for Wilder to feel better about losing like he did. Like you're getting destroyed. Like so, he's a really big ego. He's got a huge ego. Ego trip. I mean, Fury's got a pretty big ego too. Let's not fool ourselves, but still, hardly. I mean, if Fury had lost in that way, I doubt that he would like make up so many excuses and blame so many other people other than himself. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's an egomaniac, but he's brought up that way that when he loses, if he lost, he would give his opponent the credit. I believe he was the better man. He beat me. All right, I'll come back. If Wilder had said that he was the better man, he was much better. He beat me, but I'll be back. All right, no problem with that. But what he said was, "Oh, my trainer shouldn't stop the fight. He was in cahoots with the Furies, and oh, Fury cheated. He put in some kind of stuff in his gloves, and all sorts of really uh, disgusting shit." He said he about Fury. He tried to really. I mean, he almost got him into trouble for heaven's sake. He almost got him in trouble. He tried to discredit his victory, and that's really childish. I mean, you don't expect a guy who's 35 to be saying stuff like that just because he was, beaten up and lost. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Fury in the first fight was definitely far from his best, version. So that's why he didn't, you know, that's why he went down twice and all that didn't really hurt. I mean, Wilder, but that was then. This was now. The moment he got back to his old self, the moment he started training with the right guy, Sugar Hill, you saw the results. He was a completely different fighter. So he showed that he does have power. He may not be, of course, doesn't have that same power like Wilder, but it doesn't matter when you are as tall as him, has such a big reach, and you are able to land your punches consistently throughout the fight. Not just one punch or two punches like Wilder does or did before, but as many as it takes, really. As many as it takes. So that's why Deontay Wilder, yeah, is just a one trick pony, just a one punch knockout wonder. And he was that. I don't think he will ever be that again. Not against really good fighters. That loss, first official loss, has ruined him completely. But of course, we will see tomorrow night, or actually, that will be on Sunday here where I am, because I don't live in America. So, but anyway, I really doubt it. I would really be surprised if the result was very different. I mean, if the fight was very different than the last time. Maybe, as I said previously, it may go a little longer than the last fight. Perhaps, yeah, maybe. That depends whether Fury will have the same approach as the last time, and if Wilder will be able to, do anything like better than the last time. Yeah. So, but they are trying to present it like, oh, he's a totally changed fighter. I don't believe it. I don't buy that. Malik Scott. Come on, Malik Scott trying to pretend like he's Emmanuel Stewart. That's pretty laughable. I gotta say. said, it was really unnecessary of Wilder to uh, accuse Fury of tampering with his gloves and all that. And of course, even the worst thing is that some people started to believe that. Some people that are not perhaps such huge Wilder fans, but they are not Fury fans either. But I know some people are trying to keep their minds, open. They started to believe in such slander, and that's the worst part. But luckily, that has been proven false. So, because of that, and because of the last fight, I don't think Wilder really deserves to be in the ring with Tyson Fury again. But alas, he had the power. He had enough power to make it happen. So instead of getting Joshua versus Fury in August, we are now getting this fight in October. Yeah. So there is no, there is no other, likely outcome of this fight but Fury winning, and winning by a stoppage. But whether that will be fifth, sixth, eighth, 10th round, it doesn't matter. It can happen in any of those rounds. Between the rounds of 5 and 12, yeah, definitely. I don't think it will happen so late because Fury, we have seen, has a tendency to go all out, especially against guys who have such a poor defense, against like Wilder. That's why Wilder lost like he did. That had nothing at all to do with any you know illegal stuff in Fury's gloves or anything. It's just that Fury was a little too weak and the first time to play the same kind of game. But the second time he was ready, so he just brought it, and Wilder wasn't able to keep him off, and that's simply what happened. When you have a guy so big, strong, who has just learned to maximize his power, yeah, that's what happens. So Fury should really win this one, and perhaps I don't know if he can win any easier actually than the last time. That was pretty easy. But I would be surprised if it turned out to be a lot more difficult. All right. So that was that. Thank you. Bye bye.